Hi everybody, welcome back to Girls Like Us. We are so happy to have you back. My name is Carolina.
And I'm Kayla.
And I'm Eliana. And today on Girls Like Us, we have a very first trans male guest. It's the very first for our show. And today with us is Dylan Flores.
Woo!
Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm just so excited for our viewers to get to know the experience of a trans male, and especially your experience as someone who's over 35.
Thank you. For
She called you out quick.
Thank you for not calling me out as older.
You're the founder of Trans Gentlemen Quarterly. It's a lifestyle vlog for trans males over the age of 35. It's really specific. So how did this come about?
I started Trans Gentlemen Quarterly because one thing that I noticed over the past 5 years with the visibility of the community is that there's a lot of information out there for the younger trans guys. There isn't so much information out there though for trans guys that are in my age group. So I figured that if I'm out there looking for this information, there has to be other guys out there looking for the information. So it was kind of like this build it and they will come kind of situation.
So you said you started your transition over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your story.
As far back as I can remember, I had always felt that I was a boy. I'm going to age myself here.
Well, we already know you're like 36.
Yeah,
so.
bless you.
Right?
Bless you. No, I'm 54.
Oh,
so,
you look amazing.
right.
you know,
Seriously.
there really, of course I was very young at the time, but
Yeah.
there weren't resources out there that were showcasing the trans male community.
Yeah.
You know, trans women have kind of been, what's the word I'm looking for?
Loud.
Just
Right.
known about, just
Just
even
saying.
known about.
They've been featured.
Yeah,
more.
featured,
Yeah.
you know, for decades.
Yeah.
What I learned was that a lot of trans males, it's like once they transition, they just wanted to like disappear into the woodwork and assimilate into society and not be bothered. So there wasn't a lot of exposure out there. When I was 15, I came out as a lesbian, but it wasn't until I was in my early 30s that I had personally been exposed to another trans man. It was a good friend of mine, and it was like the light bulb came on.
You were raised, like me, in a very Latin household. And we all know the Latin community tends to be a little bit, lacking of understanding and knowledge of the LGBT community. So what were some of those challenges?
You know, I actually was very blessed because, you know, I was the only female born of 4, but my parents never really pressed on me the whole feminine thing. The only time I was actually put in dresses was on the holidays when I was very young. Other than that, they let me run around in jeans and t-shirts and be a big old tomboy. Wow. They didn't really force the femininity part of being born female on me.
So how did your family take it when you came out to them?
The first time or the second time? Because I had to come out twice. First time was challenging for my mom because, of course, being the only female born, we had the connection of being the 2 females in the household. So for her, it was very traumatic. We started arguing quite a bit when I was younger. I didn't do the dishes because I'm gay. I didn't clean my room because I'm gay, whatever. I ended up hopping from friend's house to friend's house, sleeping on couches, living in my car. I was on the streets for a while.
How did you choose your name? That's a big segment for us. People love
yeah.
to know how that comes up.
It started with me not wanting to change my initials. I have 2 brothers that their names start with D. That was Daniel and David, so okay, that got
Oh my
rid of
God,
that.
me too.
You have a Daniel?
My
or a
2
David?
older brothers are
Oh.
named Daniel and David.
So
That's
okay,
how funny.
those names were off the table, and I just really liked the sound of the name Dylan. Found out it's a Welsh name meaning of the sea. I loved that.
Cool.
And my middle initial is A. So it was either going to be Armand or Alejandro. So Alejandro.
You're going to trip over this. I have another brother, Alejandro.
The show's more about Dylan, though.
I know.
We're going to need you to tone it down.
How do you identify?
I'm in a relationship with a woman. We've been in a relationship for 11 years. If there has to be a label to it, it's a heterosexual relationship.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that my honey identifies as a lesbian.
Okay.
But it actually kind of fits with us because through my journey and my experience of just getting comfortable with who I am as an individual, I look at a lot of cisgendered guys and I'm like, I am not that.
Right.
I'm very sensitive. I'm extremely sensitive. And I actually embrace that side of me. It's taken a long time, because of course, when I first started my transition, it was all about having to make sure that I presented as male as possible. So, I did the whole macho thing. And going through this discovery process of who am I as a man? What does that mean? What does that even mean?
Right.
And couple that with the realization, which to me is probably the most interesting part of my journey, is how society has put these rules on these two binary sexes. This is what a man is supposed to be. This is what a woman is supposed to be. And if you're a woman, you're supposed to have these characteristics and not be strong, or you're considered a bitch. And if you are a man, you are not allowed to be sensitive, you're not allowed to cry, or you're a pussy. And it's ridiculous.
And that's why we are able to stand out in society in such a
Yeah.
positive way, because we understand both sides.
Right.
But truly, a trans guy, that's what a guy is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Because you have that more sensitive understanding side of, well, I've been in those shoes. So I
Right.
Exactly.
understand a woman better, so I can be a better man, which I love.
So Dylan, I saw you at the Museum of Latin American Art on the exhibit on Ink Stories on Skin. And I see you have some beautiful artwork here. So how did you get involved with that?
Well, the museum put out a call to community members in Long Beach that had gone through life-changing experiences. It's this partnering of going through the history of tattoo art and how it's been used in telling stories of cultures and people throughout the centuries. I ended up learning I am the first trans male that has ever been featured in a mainstream museum. It's actually my favorite piece because it really represented to me what it felt like going through this experience. It's exciting, it's scary, it's tumultuous all at the same time.
Thank you so much, Dylan, for coming and for giving us your amazing story, showing us your incredible tattoo.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for being our first trans male guest here, popping our cherry. And we want to thank you, viewers, for watching Girls Like Us.
Such a nice episode. I'm sorry to miss you, Dylan, and I miss you so much, girls. Carolina, Kayla, Millie. So everyone, please comment below, like, subscribe, and share it to everybody. And keep on watching Girls Like Us.